What's up, guys? DesertBugOut here. Just wanted to make a quick video for you guys. I've had a lot of people asking me how I made my flashlight for my GoatGuns, and I'm gonna show you guys how to do it. But yeah, it's a perfect little size. It fits the GoatGuns nicely, nice scale to it. I'll leave a link in my description to where you can get the flashlight on Amazon. And I'll show you how I made my mount, so that you can mount it onto the rail. So this is the flashlight I got it from Amazon. It's a little keychain flashlight, and I mean, it's just, when I found it, it was just perfect size. This right here is the sight. It's the sight that comes with your goat gun, usually when you get the M4. And you know, it pretty much just goes right here in place of the scope. But what we have to do is we gotta modify the sight a little bit in order to make the mount to be able to put it onto the rail. So as you can see, the part of the mount that we're using, and you can see here, it's just going to be that little piece that we need. So what we're going to do is first we got to take it apart. We're going to unscrew this little piece here, and just take that off. We're not going to need any of that because we're just going to chop off that whole piece. So we just take that and discard it, or use it. I always keep it just in case I need spare parts. I might be able to do something else with it, but you know. So then we're going to unscrew this piece here. This is the piece that goes on to the rail itself. Pull that piece off. And then we just got to take a grinder and just grind off that top piece right there and that side right there. So the top and the side. Just going to grind that off so that we can attach the flashlight. So got the grinder here. And we're going to start right here and start grinding this piece off. Make sure you're wearing some goggles. I put on a mask too because I don't want to breathe into little pieces of metal. But yeah, make sure you're taking all your safety precautions. Takes a little bit of time depending on how sharp your blade is. Might not even be using the correct bit. I'm just using a sanding disc, but it seems to work. So you know, it just takes some patience, and make sure you're getting it all and getting a nice clean cut off, and you know, just making sure there's no sharp pieces or anything like that. And what I did was once I got it pretty thin there, then you can just pretty much shake off the little piece off of it. At this point, then you can just kind of just shake it off, and then use the sander to grind down any sharp pieces. Make sure it's nice and smooth, you know, cut yourself or nick yourself. So at this point, now we're going to cut that other piece off, and same thing, just kind of grind it off, and make sure you're being safe about it. Once you get that piece off, you just sand it down and get it nice and smooth, and that's pretty much it. I mean, really, just get that little piece going, and once you got a little tiny sliver left, you can just pretty much shake it, just bend it off. There we go. And then just grind those sharp pieces. Okay, so for at this point, I'm just grinding off the little sharp edges, and we're just gonna make sure we get it nice and smooth, and so that we don't cut ourselves, or just so that everything looking, just feeling nice and smooth. And then I like to cut this little piece off here to make the piece that mounts to the flashlight itself smaller, so that it fits on the groove. Otherwise it might be a little too big and it won't be flush. So once you get this little piece ground off, then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to just keep going with it and keep going. Keep smoothing it out. It's going to take a little bit of time, takes a little patience, but it's totally worth it. Get it nice and flat, just so that it looks good, and so that you can barely tell that anything's been modified. It almost looks like it came that way. So then after you're done, then you grab a pack of files, and what you're gonna want to do, grab one of these half rounded ones, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna file down the top of the piece that you cut off, so that it's kind of a little bit concave and rounded, so that your flashlight, since it's round, it'll fit onto the surface. Because as of right now, it's just going to teeter-totter because it's a flat surface going onto a rounded surface. So you just take your file and you just start filing until you get a nice little rounded surface. And once you have the rounded surface, you'll be able to mount that flashlight onto the piece more flush, and it'll give it a more uniform look. Alright, so now that we have it rounded, you can see that it fits nice and flush now. And now all we got left to do is to mount it to the mount. Okay, so here's the piece. You can see that it's rounded on the top. Here's the flashlight, and you just stick it right onto. Make sure it fits nicely, make sure it looks good, and make sure that it's straight. You don't want to put it on there crooked, because it's gonna look weird, and it takes away from the overall look. So this is what I use. It's contact cement, and basically what you do is you put a little dab on each piece, and then you let it sit for probably about 10 minutes. And after you let it sit for 10 minutes, then you just stick it together. At this point, I'm trying to see which way I want my flashlight to sit when you're looking at the GoatGuns itself. Whether I want that key ring piece to look sideways, or to be invisible if you're looking at the GoatGuns from the side. It doesn't really matter. It's really personal preference. So now I'm gonna take the little bit of contact cement, and you don't need a lot. You just need a tiny little dot, and again you put a little dot onto the piece itself. Like that. There we go. Yeah, that's good. It's some sticky stuff, so kind of gotta roll it off. Roll the brush off. And then a little dot onto the flashlight where you're gonna mount it. Now remember, to turn the flashlight on, you gotta twist it. So you wanna mount it to the back end, so that you can still twist the front end to turn it on and off. So just stick on this little dot, and roll it off. All right, there we go. Let that sit for about 10 minutes and then stick them together. If you don't let it sit for about 10 minutes, then what's going to end up happening is when you try to stick it together, it's just going to be kind of floating, and it'll like sag and not stick well. But yeah, so it's contact cement. All right, now that it's been 10 minutes, there's the two pieces. And then you just stick it together, give it some nice pressure. Make sure it's how you want it. Make sure it's straight. If you don't want it crooked. But yeah, and once you get done, once it dries, then at that point you can take the flashlight apart, pull out the bulb, pull out the batteries, then put the cap back on. And what I do is I stick a Q-tip in where the bulb was, and then you just take it outside, grab some whatever color spray paint you want, and go ahead and go to town with it. Here's one that I made before. It's already been painted. I painted it after I mounted it, and see, as you can see, it was a black flashlight. That's the bulb inside. And see what I mean? If you mount the front end, you can screw on and off to turn it on and off. And that's it. Thanks for watching.